who's Escape supposed to run to get the money from you? Lordy, let me open up these windows. Hey, you guys, your girl G here. Welcome back to my channel. I need to open these windows. Let me take this seatbelt off, y'all. It's hot than a bitch out here in Texas. Y'all know when it gets to be summertime or spring, whatever, heat, okay? But you know what's hot? And you know what's going down in flames and straight to hell? Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know if y'all saw last night's episode, but it's giving Karen Huger vindicated. It's giving vindication. It's giving I will be proven innocent. You know, when this story first came out about Kenya, you know, just dropping posters of a girl with a peen in her mouth, everybody was like, you know, Kenya's always been the one to go overboard. She's always been the one. Shoot, we all know Kenya more hair care. Boom, 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 boom. Kenya more hair care. Like, we know Kenya is, you know, we know she can go there. But in this situation, we weren't able to necessarily get, you know, details about what really caused it in the beginning until Kenya came out and said that there was some threats of, you know, peace be still, in the words of Medea, and I keeps me a piece of steel. All right, I guess you thought she was finna run up in there with the blicky, boop, 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 bop, bop, you know, booyaka, booyaka. I don't know how she thought she was finna do that, but Miss Brittany, I think he might have pulled a NECA. Now, for those who watch Housewives of Potomac, y'all know NECA came in guns a-blazing for Miss Wendy. You know, everybody, like, not everybody, but when the new girls come on, there's always this feeling of having to have the moment of blowout or just like something of virality, as Kenya said, the moment of you checking somebody or whatever. And sometimes, because a woman wants an issue with somebody so bad, they create one prematurely that's not even really an issue. And that's what Brittany did. She just didn't allow this shit to happen organically. Okay, shout out to Nene. And now here we are at the end of this episode, and all the girls are thinking the same thing. Like, Brittany, what the heck was that? Like, why are you acting like that? So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into the review, guys. So I can go run over here because it's happy hour. I'm trying to decide if I want to go to Sonic because I got me a $2 off little coupon, or do I want to go to Taco Bell because I want a blast, a little Baja Blast, little freezer majig. I don't know. But nonetheless, you guys. So we opened up the episode. Speaking of Brittany, Brittany is over there talking with Miss Angie. Ooh, bitch, y'all, we got to talk about Angie. Miss Angie, you got some splaining to do, okay? But nonetheless, Angie and Brittany are talking, catching up, yada yada. So on Brittany's side, she's basically just kind of venting about, you know, not being in a good place with her sisters. You know, it's very hard, you know, after their father passed. And Angie's like kind of saying the same thing. Like, you know, she's struggling with her family. You know, when she first got with Charles, everything was all good. You know, he got along with everybody. But after some time, you know, her mama started having some opinions. And one of those opinions ended up turning into a fight. And all Angie said in the confessional was, you know, they got into an argument over cleaning. I heard that and immediately thought, I hope Charles didn't say no misogynistic ass bullshit. Like, because he's the type of dude that likes to say shit and insane stuff on purpose. There are just some people out there in the world who say asinine things and off the cuff things just to be an a-hole and just to, like, say it for the sake of saying outrageous things. That's Charles. Okay? That's him. So I can only imagine the context of how deep, we're just arguing over, they just got to a fight over cleaning. And she's like, they both apologized, but Charles keeps acting like the fight was like yesterday. So she's like, you know, it's very hard for me because, you know, I do financially, you know, take care of everybody. And it's really, you know, Charles's money. My question is, do your family know that? Do the family know that the money you giving them is coming from Charles? Is that maybe the reason why she's trying to get into, you know, real estate so she can kind of technically have her own money or whatever? Who knows? But she's hosting a little, you know, black elegance event at the bank, someplace in Atlanta. And she's inviting all the ladies, even Shamia, and Brittany, talking about seeing Kenya there. And this is where you realize, like, Brittany, since episode 1, has been wanting the smoke with Kenya. Girl,
how long you gonna be doing this?
Like, Brittany, like, girl, you are talking about a woman who literally has not said shit about you since she mentioned that damn ring. Come on now. So, yeah. And so she's like, she better not come, just acting a certain type of way, because I'm not here for it. I ain't got a problem checking nobody. So in the next scene, we see Shamia. She is, chilling, looking real riche in the backyard. I don't know if that was her sister, cousin, or whatever that came over. And she basically is just talking about, getting the invitation from Angie and feeling like, if it would have been her, she wouldn't have invited Angie over had they gotten into it. So she's feeling like now she wants to extend the olive branch. So then after that, Shamia starts talking about, getting into music. She's been in the music industry since, she mentioned Carrie Hilson. Just the fact that she was even, in a group of Carrie Hilson just goes to show, like, this isn't just one of those situations where, the girls get on TV and be like, I want to sing or I want to rap. Like, this was a girl who actually was in music, before this. And so as Shamia is saying, she's like, I've been in groups, but I've never really just had my time. And so Shamia is doing exactly what a bitch should do. When you finally get your platform, do your Candy Burris shit. Like, do your candy shit and use it for what, like, to build something after, TV. Because a lot of these hoes get on TV and don't realize this isn't gonna be your forever, So I'm not even mad at Shamia. And the song actually sounds really good. Her and Drew's music actually sounds really good, especially in comparison to what, some of the Housewives girls, they love dropping music and, we take it as a key, but never like as like serious, and I actually believe in Drew and Shamia's music as being like, more on the serious front. Can y'all see me? Because now the sun trying to pop up and it's causing a weird glare. I don't know if y'all can. But do I want to close this? I don't know, y'all. I'm sorry if it's like getting dark or weird. Like, it just, I don't know. So yeah, so after that, what else happened? Speaking of Drew, y'all, Drew is over there with Ralph at the house, and we see him running drills with the kids and everything like that. And the little girl was like, Mommy, like, run the drill. And she's like, you have to ask Daddy. And so she looked at Ralph and she's like, let Mommy go. And he was like, go ahead, obviously trying to be copacetic in front of the kids, as most parents try to do. Hell, she running and Ralph crack a joke like, don't bust your Achilles again, because we all remember when Drew busted her damn ankle the last time. So she was out there and Ralph old passive aggressive ass, he was like, we really need to get done with this. So she was like, oh, I'm in your way. And he was like, a little bit, we really need to finish practice. So she's like, well, excuse me then. And she moved out the way. And then after the kids or whatever go inside, they start talking about obviously everything. And he starts mentioning, she was like, everything's, I appreciate how we've been co-parenting, and even though with the divorce and stuff, he was like, yeah, because the kids, they're not supposed to discuss the divorce in front of the kids. But he mentioned something about either Josiah bringing it to him, because she was like, Josiah's, he's just kind of like been quiet or whatever. And that's one thing that you have to notice, like, as a kid, as a parent, even if you are going through a divorce, whatever the is happening between y'all as the parents and the couple in the household is always going to reverberate to the kids. It's like when you throw a rock into a water, it hits and then the waves spread out. It's not just affecting you guys. And as much as parents think they're hiding it and not doing it in front of the kids, even if they're not seeing it like in front of their face, that energy, because I grew up with parents who eventually divorced, that energy is thick, okay? And we can feel it, okay? But he's like, yeah, he sent me title with the divorce in it or whatever, and shoot, you send me everything too. Talking about, oh, you're a narcissist. And she was like, you are one. And he was like, you crazy. She's like, you don't think you won? He was like, And I'm like, Drew, why are you saying that? Because the thing about a narcissist is they're never going to admit they're a narcissist because they don't think anything's wrong with them. And of course, they get the flashback with Ralph and talking about she deserved a Lunchable, all that bullshit. Okay, but she was like, but like we're doing good right now. We're not arguing. And he was like, well, at least this week. She was like, oh, okay, but the thing is, we're good now. And so then they ended up talking about him. She was like, I'm just glad that you were able to get on and do what you want to do. You wanted to be out there and everything. He was like, well, that's not the reason why, but if that's what you're, determined to think, then whatever. So she's like, well, what is it then? And it's so crazy because like, that's, you niggas get in relationships, but they still want to be out there because that's what you wanted to do, Ralph. Let's be real. You wanted to pick up and leave to Tampa for 2-3 days and ain't say nothing. You wanted to be out there, but the problem is they want their cake and eat it too. I want to be out there, but I also need the family home front to give off this persona to the rest of society, And so he pulled this shit of like, oh, this wasn't, my plan. When I got married, I really wanted, I wanted the marriage. Like, I never had the idea of like exiting this or whatever. And it's really amazing to me how much men talk about, I never wanted a divorce. Like, the idea of marriage and everything like that, because in their mind, they're never thinking about the divorce or initiating it because no matter how shitty a situation is, they're still getting a benefit out of it. They're still getting the look of being a family man. They're still getting, the benefits of a woman cooking, cleaning, and even when she don't want to, they're still getting everything that comes with it. And so him just sitting there being like, I really love my family. And it's amazing how y'all always love y'all family, but y'all never love y'all family enough to change your behavior. That's fucking it up. Let me say that again for the Negroes in the back. Y'all always love y'all family and want y'all family, but you never love y'all family enough to change your behavior. So, yeah. Because y'all love talking about, I'm going to keep my marriage, I don't know why she initiated it. You know why she initiated it. A woman, by the time she physically leaves, she done asked your sorry ass 50, 60 times to change or do something, and you haven't done it. But that's another rant for another story. But, nonetheless, yeah, Ralph really just makes my ass he really just makes my ass itch. That's just really what it is. So did they talk about anything else after that? Oh, him in the basement, because she was talking about him being out there, and he was like, man, she was like, well, you got your situation. As much as you talk about you don't like it, and we all knew the basement had to look somewhat like decent, because at the end of the day, one, it's Atlanta, and two, basements have become like the new like thing to decorate, basically be like a whole new second apartment. So to actually see what the basement looked like, we understand why Ralph ass ain't trying to leave. Like, he literally got his own damn apartment, movie theater, like everything. So now the thing is, I'd be pissed off because I know your ass is bringing bitches in on this back patio door. I know that's what you doing. And if that's what you was doing, you want to bring some bitches in from the back door, trust and believe, I'm bringing some niggas in from the front. That's when you got to start doing these niggas how they do you, ladies. Point blank, period.
Where's the hood niggas? Hey, I'm looking for the hood niggas. Come on.
Hell, you want to be downstairs in the basement so bad, I'll make sure I'll be right next to the staircase so you can hear me. Get your ass out, bro. Because you talking about, oh, you don't have to pay for this place and another place. Then get another place. And then she was like, if the kids is what you want, because he loves to pull this, oh, I still want 50-50 custody, all shirtless and shit in his confessional. Okay, you want 50-50 custody in this live, like, I want to be around my kids. You can still be a dad around your kids in a separate building. That shit pisses me off when men act like, well, I ain't gonna have my kids and you trying to keep me from being a father. You being somewhere else has nothing to do with you being a father. Shut the hell up. But the basement is nice. So Ralph is finna run that shit into the ground. He's not finna try to leave. So, and what Drew's asking is very fair. Let's sell the house and just split the profits. But, he's finna make shit difficult. But moving on. So, Brittany ends up meeting with her sister, Cher. Y'all know Brittany has talked about having, issues with her sister or whatever. And Cher comes in. Did Cher get a nose job too? Did Cher get a nose job too? Because that's what it's giving. Y'all drop down in the comments. But I digress. So she comes and sits down, and basically Brittany tells her, like, yo, like, you're my sister. Like, we shouldn't be going this long without talking. Because she asked her about her kids and was like, you know, how are the boys, da-da-da-da. And she's like, you know, they're good. Shoot, 6 feet tall. She was like, no, they not. She was like, girl, yeah, they didn't grew up. She was like, I shouldn't go this long, you know, a month or two without seeing them. Like, this is the longest I've ever gone without talking to them. And she asked, has she talked to their mom? And she was like, you know, I did, but I think I might have blocked her. And she's like, you gotta stop doing that. She was like, it's just my defense mechanism, you know, like, I just block people because I don't feel like dealing with it. And so Brittany talked about, she's like, you do that to me too. And she's like, you know, I love you, Mike loves you. And she was like, yeah, that's cool and everything, but like, why am I sitting there talking to you when Mike is there? Why is Mike always there? And y'all, I'm starting to realize the type of nigga that Mike is. He the scary kind. He's the different. He the other kind. He's the creeping in the shadows kind. Why are you blowing my phone to get me home? Why are you like? She's always like, cause we noticed every time Brittany. Remember when she went downstairs to talk to the sister? His ass popped downstairs and was like, hey, you know, dessert. And she's like, okay, I'll eat it later. He's like, but no, like, dessert, come get dessert right now. Like, it's almost like he doesn't want her talking to people for a certain amount of time. Those type of dudes, you are the coverts, okay? But nonetheless, you know, she's like, if I want to talk to you, like, why Mike always got to be there? And of course, you know, you bitches in a relationship always want to make it about, you know, you being in the relationship or you being happy, because in her confessional she was like, you know, I just, you know, my sister, she's in a really hard spot right now, not necessarily happy, you know, relationship, and oh shit, my device is overheating, y'all, so let me stop this and then I'll catch you guys later for this bitch delete all this footage. Deuces. Hey, what's up, you guys? Your girl is back, okay? Now look, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it's the next morning, okay? From the last video, it's next morning, so I'm trying to hurry up and get to you guys to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta so I can get to Married to Medicine. So let me put that out. Save it for later. Okay. Put this back in here. I got a little special tube holder that I put my stuff in, because ain't nothing worse than putting down a halvesies thinking you finna come back to it, or putting down a quarter left for you to come back to. You done lost that bitch and don't even know where you put it. But yeah, you guys, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's go ahead and hurry up and knock it out. Okay, so I think I ended on Miss Brit, okay? Miss Brit talking to her sister, and basically, you know, Brittany is convincing herself that the reason the sister is mad is because she's unhappy and she's happy in a relationship, and it's so annoying, you girls who are like, my man. No, your man is weird, because why can't you ever talk and have a conversation? And I think a part of Brittany is ignoring it because Mike does help Cher financially. So she feels like he's entitled to be in on every conversation that they have. And I'm sorry, Miss Mama's, no ma'am. That's not how that work, okay? But speaking of Mike, when I tell you he was blowing her ass up, and she's like, well, you know, I just don't go this long without talking to me. You know, speaking of Mike, he's calling me right now, telling me to come home. Okay, Croy, because that's the only thing I think of. We all know Croy was always waiting his behind outside anytime Kim went to a shoot, okay? But moving on, we have Drew, y'all. So we're back with Drew. Actually, no, let's move on to Porsha, because Miss Porsha, y'all, she's got to put her big girl panties back on. No more living in the fantasy of Cinderella, okay? I don't want to be like Cinderella, sitting in a dark, cold, dusty cellar, waiting for somebody to come and set me free. That wasn't Porsha. Porsha, absolutely, she was waiting for a rich scammer, okay? A scammer, a drug dealer, a fraudster, whatever. As long as he had the ducats, the funds, she was waiting for him to come and whoosh off her feet, and that happened to be Simon. And she quit all her jobs. The minute she quit Housewives and Dish, I was like, no, Porsha, no. Don't do it, bitch. Like, that is so stupid. But she did, and now she's got to come back to Pampered by Porsha. She's got to come back to Go Naked Hair, in which, you know, Drew is the ambassador, and one of the homies, I guess, who was our PR person, was like, well, you know, speaking of Drew, you know, she reached out to me because, you know, she knows that, you know, I got connections in the music industry, and her and Dennis were hoping to, you know, work with me. And so at this point, Porsha looks at Drew as like, you fake, and this is why I'm going to have issue with you basically all season. Now, is there parts of Drew that is fake? Absolutely. But, you know, pot me kettle. And so now here it is. Porsha's like, you know, I got to build, you know, $1 billion industry, you know, so I can support myself, you know, and PJ. You know, it sucks that she can't move back home because her mama done moved in her house, so she ain't got nowhere else to be. Like, Porsha was just so stupid with this situation, and a lot of it had to do with, you know, the perception to everybody. A lot of it had to do with the fact that, you know, she was going to be on the show with Shamia, and Shamia can't be the only one over here, you know, living lavish. Did y'all see the way that she said when the lawnmower went off in the scene? And she was like, shit, that's why me and my husband was talking about buying that property anyways. Like, what? Like, just real rich bitch shit, okay? But yeah, Porsha just looks so corny having to basically run back to a situation that she gave up simply for the fact that she didn't want to take her whipping. Like, you did what you did. Take your lashings, and you would have got paid for it heavily. But now here you are looking stuck on stupid, trying to rebuild a brand and bring everything back up for Simon. And I know you was over there like, yeah, just faking. Over there faking. Just wasn't getting nothing out of it. Just laying there, pillow princess, waiting for him to finish. Ugh, tragic. So yeah, after that, Drew's in the studio with Dennis, and the songs, I need to finish listening to her album, but it's never that Drew couldn't sing. You know, Drew just needed that song that was just gonna be, you know, for her. And of course, everybody's like, you know, Dennis, he's not in the music industry or whatever, and he's, you know, executive producer. She's like, you know, he did music in the past, and allegedly he did one of PJ's songs. You know, it's possible that he probably, you know, dibbled and dabbled in the music industry, but now he sees Drew and was like, shoot, let's get this money together. And truth be told, really, truly, all he's doing is funding the project. And you could put somebody on as, you know, EP, you know, as long as they, you know, bring in the right producers or whatever, they can get EP credit. So, you know, it's going up for me when it comes to Drew. But Drew was sitting there like, you know, it seems like I'm going to have a problem with Porsha. Like, I thought you said you was going to talk to her. Dennis basically, man, was like, what's all do from next Friday? Kiss my ass, so what? He was like, man, she was over there in Africa eating fufu and shit. Like, he was not worried about her. As he said, you get married 16 times, and now I'm supposed to sit here and consider your feelings. And that was the thing that pissed Porsha off. The only thing I will give Porsha is the fact that, okay, you know, she's feeling like I'm this individual, and like, damn, Drew, like, you could have told me. And she's feeling like Dennis is betraying her because you're filming with another woman on the show. And, you know, like, the basis of what Porsha possibly could be mad about, fair. But that's always going to be overshadowed by the shit that you've done, because how dare you be able to be expecting things from people that you don't give in return. So that's where you lose me and a lot of people. But yeah, Drew basically was in the studio and was just like, you know, we going up. And, you know, Dennis and the producer were like, yeah, you gotta, you know, shoot, you single, you know, you out there. And this is where, you know, I look at Drew with my good eye, because she's like, well, you know, I'm not single yet. You know, I haven't made that decision, or so. I think she's like, I haven't made that decision or something like that. And I'm like, bitch, are you? Are you gonna make the decision? Cause it's giving you dragon, okay? But yeah, after that, it's time for the event at the bank. It was super cute. I love those places, those like restaurants or lounge areas that have like the cool entryways, or like the detail is something like, you know, those places that have like the key wall, and like you got to find the key that opens the door, or, you know, it looks like a library, and then like one of the books opens the doors or whatever. So when I saw that, it was super cute. And so I just found it real funny how Brittany and everybody, especially Brittany, talking about, girl, that's over in the hood. And then you brought the hood behavior, acting real chicken head wench behavior, okay? that's what the old 99 2000s. You called a girl that was ratchet from the hood, that old wench over there was finna get touched, okay? So everybody comes in, and looky, here comes Cookie, Miss Kenya, in a goddamn turquoise dress. And everybody looked at Kenya like, I know you saw this, it said black chic attire, okay? But everybody looked really cute. Brittany looked with her little mini-me self, had her booty cheeks out. But definitely for me, Shamia is killing it with the looks. And she come in, you know, dripping like black jewels or whatever, with a goddamn olive oil container with a stick in it. I get it, you know, for the gesture that it was an olive branch. She apologized for, you know, going in on old girl's looks. But girl, Shamia, you got the money. You could have actually did like an olive branch, like flower, or like an olive branch painting. Or if you were just gonna do the olive oil, just do the olive oil and make it like, hey, it's figurative. Give it to your husband to cook, because I know he loves to cook, you know. But nonetheless, everybody sits down. Kenya and Porsha have really funny back and forths. She's asking about the food. And it's always these moments that are so annoying, because Porsha does have a really good personality for TV. She does have like this joking manner that is entertaining and funny and things like that. But it's just like, girl, your morals and ethics is all discombobulated, and it just kills the vibe. And she can say funny things. Which one of you just eat my pussy tonight, okay? Everybody's down eating or whatever. They're catching up. So I forgot how it got started, but somebody asked Kelly about the event, and she was like, you know, how did the event go? Kelly, did you raise your money? And Kenya talking about, well, did everybody buy something? And Kelly was like, well, no. And then she was like, wait, who didn't buy nothing? And she looked over at Drew real messily. Drew was like, like, I bought something, girl, you know, see. She pulled her phone out, and it was, I guess she was messaging the sales associate, was like, see, I brought a blazer for my son. And Kelly was like, she's like, I ain't see you walk out with nothing. Then not only that, you brought somebody, drank up all my champagne. Basically, she was calling her a mooch. You know, the person that comes to the party with the Parmesan, but then drinks everybody's VSOP. So Drew was like, no. And Kelly was like, yeah, you showed me text messages, but you ain't showing me a receipt. And I said, ooh. I mean, I believe Drew didn't buy it, because at the end of the day, she going through a divorce, and bitch, divorce is expensive. All right, so I have a feeling that Drew didn't buy nothing. Yeah, because she got to deal with Ralph trying to kick his ass out the basement. Yeah, after that, then they ended up getting into like the game or whatever. Of course, you know, when they start throwing stuff in the box. And even before that, it was already getting started, because Kenya came in, you know, gave everybody a cute little church hug, you know. And we've seen Housewives. The girls never really just straight out hug. Like, it's always a cute little mwah, mwah, you know, because everybody's usually wearing makeup or something like that. And so when Kenya gave Brittany the church hug, she was like, that's not a real hug. You don't pat my back. And Kenya's like, girl, you know, I have makeup. Don't want to get makeup on you. Like, Kenya was clearly letting it roll off her back. And so then when they get into the game, you know, they start asking questions. You know, what's the spiciest thing you've ever done? And they asked Angie, have you had a threesome? She was like, I ain't inviting nobody into the bedroom. And Porsha was like, shoot, I heard Charles spicy. I heard something about him. And so Angie was like, what'd you hear? And Portia's like, you know, I'll wait for what? Like, are you waiting to bring it up later? Are you waiting to bring it up to her in a one-on-one conversation? And had I been, ain't nobody lighting Porsha up the way she really need to be. Like, you cannot be talking about husbands. Like, really, Porsha? Like, Angie should have went in on her ass right there. But, you know, she was trying to keep the event cute, because it was giving black excellence. And so then after that, they asked Kenya what color panties she got on. She stand up, show everybody her little cucaracha. Porsha was like, girl, your pussy big. She's like, it looked like we was gonna eat the food off the table. And then Kenya gets asked again, like another question, and it was like, why do you constantly care about women who are in happy marriages or something like that? And Kenya was like, it's a habit of mine. And Kelly was like, for real? She was like, no, like I'm joking. I even knew she was being sarcastic. But then she get another question about Brittany, and Kenya was like, obviously she could tell. Oh, you know that Denzel meme when he was like, oh, you niggas, like, okay, y'all want to plot against me? So then Brittany goes, she's like, I didn't ask this question. I'm sure probably Kelly or somebody put it in there and was like, why can't you talk to Brittany without an attitude or more respect or something like that? And Kenya was like, yes, I can speak to all the ladies, everybody with, kindness and respect. Here go Brittany. I wasn't talking about everybody. I'm talking about me. The question was about me. And Kenya reiterates, girl, I can talk to everybody kindly. It's about me, that's the problem. I'm talking about me. And Kenya's like, go ahead, girl, you want your moment, which she did. Moment, she's like, you want the moment. And Kenya's like, I am the moment. And then Brittany keep going talking about, that's why I don't like your ass. Like, you got the right motherfucking one. Like, bitch, you playing. And so Kenya was like, this is childish. You trying to come for the queen. Queens don't entertain peasants. It was giving real Mariah, okay?
And I will not come off my chariot and throw tomatoes with you, sweetheart.
I will not come off my chariot and throw tomatoes with you. That's what Kenya was giving. So now everybody's standing up, and even everybody in the confessional was like, yo, Brittany, like, chill the fuck out, And they were like, she is doing team too much. And so everybody's walking outside, and Brittany is still going. So even Porsha, everybody's like Porsha, Kenya, I forgot who else, and they were just kind of like walking out the door. And you could tell they was kind of whispering about how outlandish Brittany is acting. And so you see Kenya walking out the door, and this is where you hear Brittany giving, that's why I keep, I always keep it on me. She was like, I'll stay with my pistol or something like that. And so it's like, oh, okay, a word. All right. Then she repeated again. I'm tired of you bitches. This ain't, y'all want to do this for play. This ain't no Hollywood shit. This is real life. I stay with whips and pistols. Okay. Bravo. Y'all really did say that. I could have sworn y'all said that wasn't no mention of guns or something like that. I could have sworn. Am I tripping? Y'all draw down in the comments. I felt like they said, Brittany, there was no threatening something. I could have sworn that was. But now Kenya's outside and her car ain't pulled up yet. So now here go Brittany wanting to basically rub her husband in Kenya's face. Let me go to my husband who cares about me. Where's Mike at? Where's Mike at? His old decrepit self walks up. And she's like, that's why they playing here. And he was like, who? She's like, Kenya, you don't want to play with me. Like, bitch, I ain't the one. You want to play with somebody. You want a moment. She was like, Kenya's one of those people who's a manipulator. She'll poke, and, throw jabs. And it's like, but Kenya ain't threw no jabs at you. Kenya ain't poked at you. And even if, let's just take, okay, if it was the ring thing, bitch, that's only one time that Kenya says something to you. And that's the reaction that you're giving already? Like, girl, shut up. Like, you wanted a problem. And so Kenya gets in the car with Porsha, drives off. And she was like, girl, you didn't hear her? She was talking about pistols and stuff. And Porsha was like, what? She was like, she said that? She was like, yeah. She was like, I promised her to do something to me so her ass can go. Like, go ahead and do it. She need to go. She need to go. This girl is giving real ghetto fabulous. Okay, I get it. When people grow up fighting, they make everything a fight. They end up turning it into the very thing that they say they want to avoid. Brittany, even if you were a bitch that had to deal with grown up fighting girls, either because they were jealous of you or whatever it was, don't make it an immediate situation that from now on going forward, all bitches is jealous of you and want to fight you, because that's not the truth. Don't carry that on into your adulthood, because you know, I'll be fair to her and say, even like because I grew up with it a little bit. Like when you tend to be light skinned or prettier, quote unquote prettier, you do have girls who like kind of attack that and try to bully you. I've dealt with that growing up, so I'll be fair in those regards to Brittany, but that's not something you carry on into your adulthood to this extent. You know, work through your shit. And it don't mean that, you know, because the girls were jealous in high school, the bitches are jealous of you now. So, like, Kenya was like, I'm done with it. Like, girl, do something so she can go. And Porsha was like, oh, there's Charles. And then Kenya was like, I ain't messing with Charles. I ain't trying to have no problem with Angie. And then that's where the episode ended, y'all. So, yeah, that was Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all drop down in the comments. Has Kenya been vindicated? Okay. Is Brittany wanting a problem with her? Ben wanting a problem with her? Oh shit, y'all, I forgot about Kelly and Kenya. They are going to be a good little combo. Kelly looks super duper cute. I love the mismatched shoes. She visited Kenya at her shop, and she ended up having a bodyguard. And so Kenya was like, wait a minute, like, what's this? And she was like, well, just like you have an MARK, basically Mark. And she was like, I have one. She's like, but you need a security card? She was like, yeah, you're crazy. Like, I got a restraining order against him. She was like, but do you have proof? She was like, girl, he did it in front of the judge. And if a man is crazy enough to say, girl, I'll off you in front of a judge, yeah, I'm gonna have to keep it on me, okay? Pull up. I'm gonna have me a little switchblade, and I'm gonna have me a little, you know, boop, 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 okay? Because these niggas are crazy out here, and they do not mind taking women's lives. And the judge even said that he can't see the kids now. So, yeah, girl, you absolutely are justified in carrying you around a bodyguard with that, you know, toad looking at his husband that you had. But, yeah, y'all drop down in the comments, you guys. And I will be back for Married to Medicine. Deuces.